Morning.
Good morning. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
It's supposed to snow though.
No.
Only a little bit.
Yes.
Only a little bit. So
Yes.
that's all right.
Absolutely.
What are you having for breakfast?
I'm picking on organic cashews.
Unsalted.
Unsalted, organic.
Unroasted, everything.
Right. And I'm making my oatmeal.
Standard
Oatmeal, chai seeds, hemp seeds, amla, spirulina. No protein powder today.
No?
No,
Why?
because I'm picking on the cashews.
Okay,
So I'm
you'll be
getting
like
protein
me.
from this.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm having a smoothie today, even though I said I wanted something warm. I feel like I need the nutrition from my smoothie. So
You're sitting there going.
I am. It's cold. It's gonna snow.
Yes.
So I have the frozen fruit, and you're gonna move this.
Go ahead. No, keep talking. I just
Okay.
want to get us in the picture.
We weren't in the picture before?
Not really. We're kind of off to the side. There we go.
Okay. So now you're happy now?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna put in some Deluce, which I've showed you guys some before. It's seaweed. It's supposed to be good iodine source. I have pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and then all the same stuff that Russ puts in his oatmeal.
All the same stuff.
All the same stuff. And I might decide to add some dried cranberries, even though they have sugar in them, because
they're yummy.
Because they're yummy. And if I can't have something warm, maybe I want to have something yummy.
Okay.
So we'll see about that. What'd you do in the gym today?
I did legs, I guess.
You sort of kind of did legs?
Yeah, it wasn't my best workout.
It was so cold in there today.
Yeah.
I was freezing.
I don't think I can use that as an excuse.
No?
No.
I can't.
I just wasn't super motivated.
I went to bed and got up thinking I was going to do arms.
Yeah.
I got dressed thinking I was going to do arms,
Right.
and then I got to the gym and realized, wait, today I'm supposed to do back.
Right.
And you know what's sad? I told you that, and then I actually started doing arms anyway.
Because it was already in your mind.
I just was not paying attention, not even a little bit.
How's that coffee? Does that need to be...
I'll check it. Doesn't sound like it.
No?
So yeah, I did back, and then I spent about the last 15 or 20 minutes sitting on the bike. And I was pedaling, but to say I did cardio would be a stretch.
Your feet were moving.
I wasn't actually doing cardio. I was just pedaling the bike a little bit, trying to pretend I was going to be warm.
So I guess what you can take out of today is that we did not have our
Not the most stellar workout ever.
not our best day for working out.
But
we went.
We did.
And we did our exercises.
And that's something, right?
You know? So.
And then, so tomorrow, I think we're going to try and go tomorrow. What do you need? Oh, this?
What? You can't let me...
I'm sorry. We're going to try and go tomorrow because we didn't go yesterday because we had an event to go to yesterday. Right. So we're going to try and go to the gym tomorrow.
That's the plan.
So I know that you have been kind of giving me some pushback on sharing our story on how we met.
That would be the coffee being ready too.
It's boiling over.
So here's a funny story, folks. I make coffee every morning, and it's
an old-fashioned coffee pot.
Right. So it has this thing on the top, and you have to boil the water first, and then put the thing on top. And whenever we get sidetracked, that water will sometimes, because I might be filling it up a little bit too much.
I think he's a little aggressive with his coffee.
And then it overflows, and it makes us jump every time.
Every single time.
So even though we know it, it still makes us jump, and it's almost kind of comical at this point.
So anyway, tell them why you've been pushing back on me about our telling our story.
I don't know. Was I really pushing back, or was I teasing?
I don't know.
I was probably
what
teasing.
What you said was you feel like it's not part of our diet.
Well, it's definitely not part of the journey, as it were. That's, the history of our getting together, which is, yes, very important.
As far as the journey goes, it's very important.
Yeah?
I think so. No RnR, no journey.
That's true.
So, okay, here's how we met. I joined a gym in Central Jersey that he was the mayor of. He had been, he had been a member of that gym since before it opened. His member ID number was 16?
No, it was...
I know it was in the teens.
You know what? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think it was definitely in the teens. And mine was, I don't know, some 5-digit number. But the first time I remember seeing him, he was having this huge argument with another guy about football. And I came this close to telling them if they were going to yell at each other, they should go stand outside because I didn't want to hear it. But I didn't say anything. But over the course of several months, he and I chatted and whatever. And it was funny because there were so many people who were involved in his life, like so interested in his life. I don't even think he realized it.
I was going to say, you have to clarify that. Because the way you said it makes it sound like all these people were physically in my life. And
No, they were just nosy about his
it's
life.
just like more people had interest in what I was doing than I was aware of.
Yeah.
Would be a better way of saying
And people actually told me, oh, I've never seen him date a girl. I think he's probably gay. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care. And so I was planning on moving to Las Vegas when I joined that gym. So I was only going to be in New Jersey for about another year until my lease was up. But he and I started chatting and whatever. And I thought, he's single and I'm single and it would be fun to just hang out. Not necessarily date, just hang out. So the first time I asked him out, I said to him, we should get together and have coffee and talk about our businesses, do a little networking thing, whatever. He said to me? He said, I don't think our businesses can help each other. So not only did he not want to go out with me, he didn't even want to network with me. And then the second time, you want to tell them why?
Oh, because I have tunnel vision in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I was in the gym, I walked around with blinders on. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on around me.
Observant, he is not.
No.
So the second time, I hear him talking to another guy about this bottle of wine he had over the weekend. And
Well, I never come out good in these, I'll tell you.
and I said to him, I got several bottles of wine in my divorce, and I don't have anybody to drink them with me. And he says to me, no, that's too bad. I'm like, oh my God, okay, fine. And I'm not taking it personally because I'm not asking him out like, hey, go out with me, like I'm emotionally invested. I'm just saying, let's hang out, it would be really cool. So fast forward a few weeks or whatever, and he and I were riding the recumbent bikes next to each other, and I was talking about Las Vegas because I'm looking at moving to Vegas. And we get off the bikes and we're walking back toward the weight area together, and he says to me, I'll miss you when you move to Vegas. And I didn't even think, just came out of my mouth. I said, miss me? How can you miss me? You won't even have coffee with me. What's with the animation over there?
No animation. I thought I was the
color commentary. Yeah, apparently. And was that like your first clue?
Yes, that was like, oh.
So then he says to me, like a little later, he says, hey, there's this networking event for the Princeton Chamber. You should go. And so I signed up, and I thought, okay, so he asked me to go to this. We'll meet there, and then after it's over, we'll have a drink together. Like that's what was going on in my mind.
Sounds like an assumption to me.
So I get there, and I'm dressed in business clothes, not in gym clothes, and I come up to him and I kiss him on the cheek and I say, hey, it's so nice to see you. How are you doing? Whatever. And then, we go about our networking and what you do at networking is, shaking hands and collecting business cards. And at the end, as it's starting to wind down, I start looking for him. Like, I'm going to say, hey, let's grab a drink. He's gone. He didn't even say goodbye. Didn't say goodnight, nothing. He's just gone.
It was bedtime.
And I'm like, damn. So I walk out to my car, and on my car, there's a postcard. And as I'm approaching it, I'm thinking, oh, he left me a note. I get to my car, no. It's a postcard for the grand opening for a little pub in the area.
Right.
So the next morning, I go into the gym, and I say to him, hey, did you get the postcard on your car about this grand opening? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? So I told him about it, and he's like, huh. I'm like, okay, fine. So 2 days later, he says to me, hey, can you send me the information about that pub opening? And I'm like, damn it, he is going to take somebody else. But, okay, fine. So I wrote him an email, really cute, flirty email, here's their website. They obviously need somebody to help them with their marketing because, oh my God, their website's terrible. They need a designer. All the information, whatever. I get back 2 words. He says, I'm in. That's it. That's all he says. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
I'm in. Whatever. I don't understand.
So it took me probably 17 back and forth emails for us to figure out that I was going to meet him at his apartment, and then we were going to go to this grand opening thing at this bar together. So, and I had warned him, I'm like, I'm going to wear heels. And he was like, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I show up at his house, and I've got on, boots with 4-inch heels. I have on my skinny jeans. I'm wearing a leather jacket. My hair is done. My makeup is done. My lashes are done. I mean, I am done to the 9s. I knock on his door, and he comes down, and he says, Are you ready to go? No, I'm standing outside your door in my pajamas and I need to like come in and get ready. Yes, I'm ready to go. So we go to this thing, this grand opening, and neither one of us is sure. Are we on a date? Are we out as friends? Like, what are we doing? We don't even really know what we're doing. But because Russ has lived in Central Jersey for most of his adult life, everybody pretty much knows him or knows of him.
Actually, most of my life, not just adult life.
Yeah, most of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of my life, actually.
Except for 6 months that you were in Florida.
Right, exactly.
So he's been there like forever.
Yeah.
But so people start, like, we drive to the parking lot and somebody like stops and like waves at him and he's like, what is that about?
Right.
So we walk in and we get a high top table in the bar and we're trying to figure out like what we're doing and just kind of having, I mean, it was a good conversation. It wasn't awkward.
Never, no.
But people that he knew kept coming by our table and stopping. And one guy.
And that was a lot of people, by the way.
It was. And one guy stopped and I think he stood at our table and talked to us for what, 45 minutes?
It was like 45 minutes.
It was ridiculous. Like he was treating this thing like it was a networking event and we're out at a bar, kind of sort of on a date.
Right. And what did he say to us?
He asked, he goes, so what's the deal between you two? And we're looking at each other like, we have no idea.
No.
we have no idea what the deal is between us. But finally he wandered off. And then I had to go to the bathroom. So I got up and I went to the bathroom. And I walk out of the bathroom and there's this huge Marine-like guy. Like he's super tall and has the military haircut. And he's standing like right outside the bathroom. And I almost walked into him and I'm like, oh, excuse me. And I go to walk around him and he actually steps into my path. And he says to me, so what's your deal with that guy? And I'm like, and he says, I'm asking because I'm interested. And I'm like, I'm not, thanks. So I like run around him like freaking out. He scared me. But more importantly, I was very concerned that because guys that I've dated in the past have been so jealous and possessive that Russ was going to see this guy hitting on me and he was going to get jealous and be mad and like storm out and leave me in this bar. I mean, I don't really know him and he's my ride. And my car is parked at his place.
I don't think she would have had a hard time getting a ride home, folks.
Well,
I just don't.
I don't know if I would have gotten home, but that's a whole separate issue. But so then I'm sitting at the table with Russ and the guy behind me taps me on the shoulder and he says, hey, do you guys have ketchup? And I'm like, no, they bring it out in a little saucer. You have to ask for it. And he's like, oh, and he gives me this look. And I'm like, oh, my God, he's so drunk, but whatever. So then Russ goes to the bathroom. And the guy behind me taps me on the shoulder again and says, hey, do you have ketchup? And I'm like, I just told you no. And he says, no, I'm asking because I'm interested. And he's like, starts flirting with me. And I'm trying to get him to shut up before Russ gets back because I don't want Russ to see this guy hitting on me in this bar. But he won't shut up. And Russ comes back, and I'm still talking to this guy. And I said to Russ, I said, I'm really sorry. I don't know what everybody's deal is tonight, whatever. And Russ said the most perfect thing he could have ever said. He said, when you bring the best-looking woman into a bar, she gets hit on. It's not a big deal as long as she leaves with me. And that was a great answer.
High five, folks.
Yeah, you. And that was a great answer because for me it meant that he was confident enough in himself that it didn't matter to him that guys were hitting on me while he was right there. It didn't make him feel like he was less of a man. And it made me feel confident. And that was the start of our relationship because for me, it was, I believed in him and he believed in me. But then he asked me out for Valentine's Day and I completely
It was like
out.
Next week.
It was.
What was I supposed to do?
It was like the following Saturday, and I completely freaked out, and I called my sister, and I'm like, I can't go out with this guy on
Your
Valentine's
sister's a very wise girl, I'll tell you.
She is. My sister said he's never going to get reservations anywhere for Valentine's Day. You're not going out on Valentine's Day. Stop freaking out.
And New Jersey, where there are 5.6 billion restaurants within a 10-mile radius, could not get a reservation.
So we didn't end up having to go out on Valentine's Day, so I was very happy about that.
That's right.
But, so that's the story of how we met, and that's how come I had to ask Russ out so many times. He was not paying attention.
No, I wasn't.
But once we actually got to go out on our first, whatever that was, I don't know if it was a date or not.
We officially call it our first date, though.
We call it that, but I don't know if it really was. We've been pretty much inseparable since then.
Right. It's like the thing that happened to us here in Delaware where apparently this girl's been trying to, pick me up. Like every time we'd run into her, she would, and I'm not even aware. until one time I'm running a table that Robyn's doing. She got a display table at an event, and I'm working the table, and this woman comes up and she starts talking to me, and I'm just talking to her, and she looks at Robyn and she looks at me, and it finally occurred to her that we're always together. So she goes, "What's your deal with her?" And I said, "She's my wife." And she went, boom, bop, gone. It was so funny. And I turned around and I said, "I think she's been hitting on me."
That's a true statement. And the funny thing is the girls who hit on him are always like this tall.
Yeah.
And I can see over their heads, and I can watch it happen, like, oh, this is going to be funny. But it's all right. I love him anyway. He's my guy. So that's our story of how we met. I know it has absolutely nothing to do with what we eat for breakfast or the exercise we do or anything else, but several of you have asked about how RnR came to be and how come we're such good partners and how our relationship works. Good morning, Lori. Hi.
Hey, Lori.
And it works because it started from a place of trust and respect and just really trying to get to know each other as humans and not trying to use the other person to bolster our own egos.
Right.
You know, Russ is very secure in who he is as a person, and I'm very secure in who I am as a person, and so the outside world doesn't influence our relationship. We get to do it just us, which is really awesome, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
So, did you have anything you wanted to add? I just told the whole long story.
No, you know, like you said, we went off on a tangent here about personal things, and that's fine. And we'll be back to our normal researching and documenting and figuring out everything we
Sharing
can
stuff with you
about the plant-based dieting and working out and healthy things that we can share.
And I will, I'm certainly going to cook something over the weekend. I don't know what it'll be. It might be a friend, Jennifer French, posted some recipe for some soup on the RnR Journey page yesterday. I think she posted it, and it looked pretty good, so I might make that soup. But you know that whatever I make, I'll be posting pictures and recipes and stuff on the RnR Journey page over the weekend, so you guys can see those and try them if you're interested. But if you have recipes, share them. If you have comments or questions, ask them. Please like our page and tell us what you'd like us to put on the website, because we're working on building the website out now.
Right.
And take our survey. I always tell you, take our survey, so do that. And we thank all of you for being here and for listening to me ramble about how we met. Right.
And also we'll say, if you're gonna, what we're looking for in recipes, of course, are plant-based recipes.
Plant-based recipes, obviously, yeah.
Just wanted to make sure they understood.
That's valid.
Yes.
That's valid. So we're gonna go eat breakfast.
We are. Yeah. And with that, we will say, eat real food, not too much, and mostly plants. Have a great weekend,
guys.
Folks.